Hello, everyone. We are right on the hour, so I'd like to go ahead and get started with today's webinar. My name is Jordan Fields. I'm the head of Aspen for Bywater Solutions, and I'm joined today by my colleagues Kelly and Bill. Hi, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk about LiDA, the Aspen Discovery app. So let's go ahead and get started. Did you know that LiDA actually came from one of our partners? Christopher Zorn from the Ajax Public Library in Ontario, Canada thought, hey, we should have an app. So he built an app, and then he released that to the Aspen community back in 2021. At Bywater, we picked that up and started enhancing it fairly rapidly until it became what you see today. And Ajax actually decided that they were going to start working with our app. So now all of us together are working on the official LiDA app, which is great. I also wanted to make a call out to Kristen Krager. She's the primary LiDA developer at Bywater Solutions. We also do have another developer joining us later this month, which is really exciting for LiDA because we release updates to LiDA every single month. You can learn about those at our monthly Aspen gathering. Lots of people ask us what LiDA stands for, and LiDA actually stands for Library Discovery App. And then we also really love the name because the name means loved by the people. So if you Google up in like one of those baby name searches, that's what LiDA means. We also have two flavors of LiDA. So some of the LiDAs can look a little bit different. We have the shared Aspen LiDA or the library branded LiDA. So a little bit about the difference between these two. Aspen LiDA, the shared Aspen LiDA, that's where a patron, in order to find it, would search the app stores for the word LiDA. And then they can geolocate within the app or type in the name of their library to find their local library. But the important thing there is they actually have to search for the name LiDA. There's also a combination of LiDA branding and library logos within the LiDA app. So once you're, when you find it, and for the icon on your phone, it's that LiDA branding, but we did add library branding wherever we could throughout that. The shared LiDA app is free for libraries with Aspen Discovery, supported by Bywater Solutions. For libraries that want their patrons to be able to have all of their branding be for their library and not have to look at LiDA anywhere, we have library branded LiDA. So the patrons would search the app for the name of the library or the name, whatever they decided to name their app. Like I said, it's library branding everywhere. Libraries do need to have their own accounts set up with the app stores and importantly be able to give our developers access to those accounts because we completely manage the app for you and make sure that your app gets all of those updates every month. There is an additional charge on top of this for Aspen Discovery, and that's because, again, we're maintaining a completely separate app. So just wanted to kind of call those out. What you'll see today is the shared Aspen LiDA. All right, so without further ado, the best way to learn about LiDA is to look at LiDA. We're going to be doing demo in a couple different ways today. I'm going to start by using a simulator. So that's going to, I really like the simulator because you can see my mouse and you can see where I'm pointing on the screen. So that just makes it a little bit easier. But then I can't do everything on a simulator, so I am going to switch to an iPad a little bit later, so you'll get a little bit of a different view, what it looks like on a tablet instead of a phone, and you'll get to see some of those hardware-specific features. Okay, so for today, I like to put myself in the patron's shoes and really think about myself as a patron. So I'm thinking that I just opened my app. I came to the library today for a couple different reasons. One, it's May. I want to get my garden going, so I want to look for some resources for gardening. And I also want to join my middle grade daughter. We'll be reading Hunger Games as part of her dystopian book club, so I want to go ahead and find that book and make sure that I can check it out. But as soon as I open the app, I see these browse categories. They're the same browse categories that you're going to get on Aspen Discovery, but this first one catches my eye, Mother's Day Mystery and Murder. I'm like, oh, right, Mother's Day is this weekend. And I'm thinking I volunteered to watch my nephew on Saturday, and I wanted to do a nice Mother's Day craft with him that he could surprise my sister with. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search for Mother's Day crafts. Okay, now this was just kind of a last minute thing, so I'm probably not gonna check any of these out right now. I just wanna make a list and then I'll have it for later before I forget, since that browse category just reminded me. So within our search results, you get this little add to list button right here. I can click on that, and then I get a list of all of the lists that I've made in the past, but it's not going to fit any of those lists, but it'd be easy to add if I did. Instead, I'm going to create a new list, and I'm just going to call this Mother's Day Crafts. I'm going to keep it private. There's no reason to make it public, so I'll just go ahead and create this list. Great. And then I'm going to go to this, the next one that looks good, and it remembers the last list that I was working with. I'm going to go ahead and save that one to list. We can look at the next one, crafts for Mother's Day and Father's Day. Wonderful. Add that one to the list, and it's just easy like that. And now I am all set up for when I want to go make those crafts this Saturday. But what I really came here to look at first were the gardening books. So I'm going to go ahead and search for gardening. Oops. Make sure to get all the letters in gardening in there. And I'm going to get some search results. Now for gardening, kind of weird. I like to read my gardening books as books, but then I also really love my iPads, and I've seen the libraries had some e-magazines in the past. So I want to look for some e-magazines too. Not so much for practical things, but just to page through for ideas. So I'm looking at these. There's quite a bit of gardening books, 15,000 results. I'm going to want to narrow this down. So I click on filters in the upper left. Let's go into audience. Some of those I'm guessing are kids' books. These books are for me, so I'm going to go ahead and click adult and general. Now I could go ahead and update right here, but instead, before I update the search results, this time I'm going to go ahead and also add a format filter. Let's just see the books first. So I'm going to add the books filter, update, and I will get my results. Wonderful. So books, adult books for gardening, you can see that at the top up here with these filters. The audience, like I chose, were adult or general, and the format is book. Let's see, I have a yard. Okay, this one looks good. Gardening your front yard. I'm going to go ahead and click into this. And it looks like I already put this one on hold. Forgot to clear that hold out. So we'll put a hold on another one so you can see that entire process. But you can see with Aspen Discovery, it does show you when you've already got that title on hold. So let's find one that's not on hold already. Let's try this one. All new square foot gardening, small yard. That one sounds perfect as well. And this one I have not placed a hold yet, so I'm going to go ahead and place a hold. Okay, I want to pick it up at the main library on my account. Go ahead and place that hold. My hold was placed successfully. I'm not ready. We're going to look at holds a little bit later, but I don't want to look at holds just yet. Now, I mentioned I like books and I like e-magazines. So I'm going to go ahead and go up here and update. Okay. Update this filter. I'm going to take off book, and then I'm going to scroll down to e-magazine. Get that clicked. There we go. And update those results. Okay. Wonderful. So maybe not this first one. I don't live in Australia. I don't need to be looking at ideas for Australia, but Gardening Made Easy 2024, that one looks great. I can go ahead and preview from that issue if I want to. And it's going to bring me to that preview from Overdrive, and it'll load right here. I can just start to look at it. Or if I know I want to check this one out, I can go ahead and check it out in Libby. Again, I'm going to check it out to myself. There are actually 3 different users on this account. We'll look at more with linked accounts, but anytime I check something out or place something on hold, you're given an option of who you want to place it on hold for. So I'm going to go ahead and check this one out in Libby. And it's just that easy. I'm not going to go to checkouts right now. You could see how it loaded, but that's how you check it out. Okay, so I've gotten some gardening books. I've gotten my my e-magazines, and now the last thing I wanted to look for today were Hunger Games. So I wanted to read the book Hunger Games. I'm going to search for the book Hunger Games. And when my daughter is reading a book, or especially when it's a book like this, it's a little bit lighter. Sometimes I actually do this in 2 different formats at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and place a hold on the book. And then I'm also going to go ahead and get that e-audiobook. So you can see with the record grouping that Aspen has, we have all of our formats right down here together, and you can go back and forth between them. So I'll go ahead and place a hold on this book. Let's just for fun, let's put this on one of the linked accounts. So I'll go ahead and put this on this other linked account, place hold. Oh, okay. I think he might have some fines. We'll look at that later. Let's go to the e-audiobook. And again, check it out in Libby. I'll keep it checked out to me so those fines don't mess it up. Okay, and your title was checked out. Great. Okay, so I've accomplished those things that I want to look at, but I'm remembering that my daughter has an event at the library tonight. She's also in this Girls Who Code club, but I don't know what time it is, so I don't know what time I need to get her there. So you can actually search for events in Aspen Discovery as well, within LiDA, the app, and Aspen Discovery. It's girls, I'm gonna go ahead, Girls Code, DE, there we go. And I'm searching. Now, the default search for LiDA is always going to be books. Most people are going to want to be searching for books. But like I said, you can actually search for events. You have to go into the filters to do it. So I'm going to switch from library catalog to events, and I'm immediately going to get these events. So the first one at the top is Girls Who Code. That's the one that I want. Actually, all of these are. It's just the same recurring event. It says registration required. I'm going to click in here. I know I've already registered, so I'm not going to worry about that right now, but I'm going to go ahead and add this to my events so that when I need to know, again, I don't have to search and look it up. I can just come and quickly find it within my events. But you can see all of the information here. You can actually even add this to your calendar. We'll look at permissions later, but I tried to add this to my calendar. They would like access to your calendar. Okay, great. And now do I want to add this to my calendar? Yes, add this event. All right. So I got a whole bunch done in just about 10 minutes. I want to take you through some of the other functions that Aspen Discovery has. I have a little bit of cold, so I'm going to mute for a second just so I can cough. So excuse me for just a minute. Okay, thanks so much for your patience with that. I want to show you some of the other things that we have available down here within Aspen LiDA. I'm clicking on this card icon down at the bottom. And as you can see earlier with the linked accounts, we do have barcodes available for every linked account. So the first one is me. I can go ahead and click on open barcode. We have that open barcode functionality because you can imagine if we had all of these barcodes stacked, how difficult it would be to kind of scan the right one. So we have you choose your person first and then open the barcode. And then we can take the next one, open that barcode. So if you imagine an adult with maybe 3 or 4 kids at the library and trying to find everybody's library card, you have everybody's library card in this one app, and it is just this easy to go ahead and check out books to anyone on your library account. Let's take a closer look at what's in the account functionality. So I'm going to go down here to this account button and just kind of walk you through everything that we have. So let's go into checkout titles first. These do take a little bit to load. So once you've checked them out, because we did check out a few more titles. So I'm going to go ahead and click reload titles so that we can see those Overdrive titles that we just checked out. I'll just take a second to sync that with Overdrive. And now we can see we have the Hunger Games, Gardening Made Easy, as well as the title that I already had checked out there. Next, I want to take a look at our titles on hold. So we're going to go ahead and click into this. We have a couple, Run All Night and Owly. These, again, it shows you who it's on hold for with those linked accounts. This one is for Jordan. Oop, clicked on a little too hard. And this one right here is for Mark. Let's see, and we can go ahead. I think I placed them on hold. We can reload holds as well. That syncs, I think, about every 5 minutes. So I'm going a little bit too fast in order to see those right away. So we'll reload them. All right. Oh, maybe I didn't place one on hold. So we have a few more down here in pending holds. History of France, you know what? I don't really need that one anymore. So I'm going to check that one. Square foot gardening. Okay, that's where my hold went. It was pending. Of course, it wasn't in yet. This apple pie ABC, I don't need anymore. I'll check that one. And then I'll go ahead and check this classroom one as well. If I click manage selected, I can freeze these selected holds or cancel selected holds. This is actually, I'm going to slip in a little bit about translations in here. Anything that you any word within Aspen Discovery can be translated, and those translations automatically apply to LiDA. So if you don't like the word freeze, if your library uses a different word, you can translate it in Aspen Discovery and it will also translate here. But I'm going to go ahead and cancel these holds. I don't need all those holds. Okay. Those holds are getting canceled. Then we'll show you a few more things in the account interface. While that's working, I'm going to go ahead and click on to the next one, which you can do. Go ahead and click into lists. So these are the lists that we had earlier. And remember, we made that Mother's Day craft list. That list is right here. And then whenever I'm ready to check these out or do more with these titles, I can do that from here. So I just clicked on the first one and I can do everything that I want to with that title. Okay, we also have saved searches. These saved searches are done in Aspen Discovery, and we actually have LiDA notifications for when any new titles come up on these saved searches. I'm going to show you an example of that in a little bit. We also have full reading history with the same functionality that you have within Aspen Discovery. So you can stop recording or you can delete them. I mentioned that one of my linked accounts has some fines. So I'm going to go in here and I clicked on fines and I can see those fines and I can pay those fines. Now, Aspen Discovery integrates with 10 different e-commerce platforms. That'd be really difficult to do within the app. So what we do with fines in the app is we pull up the responsive version of Aspen Discovery, and then you have all of the functionality that you have within Aspen Discovery, and you can continue to have any of those 10 e-commerce integrations. So you can see the first linked account, me, of course, I have no fines. But we have another account here that has some fines, and you can click to pay those fines online. Again, this is just opening a web browser for fines within the app. The next thing that I want to click into are events. So this is where I saved that event, and you see the Girls Who Code is saved right here. It does give me another notification that registration is required. We have integration with four different event platforms right now. Woo, we just added one last month. You can also see past events, which is just kind of nice. If you attend an event in the past, it does warn you though that the event has passed, but you wanted to see what you did. Okay, a few more things within accounts. We have contact information. This is read-only. It's reading from your ILS. This is a test account, so not a lot in there, but you can see the information that the library has. What's super important, though, are these linked accounts. So anything that you can do within the Aspen Discovery linked accounts, you can also do here within LiDA linked accounts. So these, I manage these accounts. I could remove them. I can also add a new account. To add an account, you need the library barcode and PIN. Once you add an account, whoever's account you manage, they will get notified in various ways, either alert up within Aspen Discovery. If they have notifications enabled and they have Aspen LiDA, it will send them a push notification that their account has been linked to. And you can also see who has access to your account and either remove individual people, or if you don't want anyone seeing your account and you just want to shut it down from anyone having access, you can disable account linking. So I could do that. Now, it does give you a little bit of a warning right here, which is great before you kick people out. I'm not gonna remove that one today. Okay, that's everything down here within the account menu. I'll show you how these work in a bit, but we also have shortcuts to going into dark mode and changing the language, but there's another place you can do that as well as that sign out button. Okay, I just clicked down here at the 3 dots in the More menu. This is where you can see information about your library. It will bring in information about your home library. If your home library is not the information that you want, you can click on View All Locations and it will let you choose a different library and view those. But I just really love the picture and the map. You can click Visit Library and it will open up your GPS. I'm not gonna, this again, simulator, so we can't do that on this one. Going back in here, this section right here links to any web pages that you want. So if you want to donate to the library, you can make a donation. And again, the library is deciding what these web links are. You can have parent links and child links, or you can choose not to have child links and just go directly to those pages. One of the nice things about having this linked to Aspen Discovery is managing these web links all happens in the same place in the admin interface. For these links, you just say, show in Aspen Discovery, show in LiDA, or show in both. This view all locations takes you to where I'm going to go a little bit faster to make sure we have time for everything. But this shows you those two locations we had before. We also have preferences. Manage browse categories. You can decide if you don't want to see all those browse categories for the library, turn them off and on. You can also manage device permissions right here. Now you see the calendar is allowed. And we can also, it also shows you why we need this permission. So you can update the settings from here, and this is why we need it for calendar. Or let's go into one for screen brightness is an interesting one because it's for the digital library card. So if somebody's wondering, why do you need this? We actually explain it within here. Okay, let's go back. The last thing one of the last things I want to show you here is this support page. This is great for libraries. If you're talking to a patron on the phone and they are having a problem, you direct them to this support page, you have them take a screenshot and send it right in. And that gives us a whole bunch of information because with apps, it's like, well, we have all these different phones, all these different operating systems, and this really helps us pinpoint if you ever see an issue. So that's really great. You can change the language here to all of the different languages that your library has enabled. And we also have dark mode. So let's get dark mode going. There we go. So like any good app, we have dark mode. All right, that's really quick through the simulator. And now I want to show you some really fun stuff from my iPad. So just excuse me for 1 minute while I get that going on my iPad. Okay. Gives me a little countdown. It won't let you share directly from a device. Okay, so we're going to go into Aspen LiDA. This is a little bit more complicated because I can't use that pointer for you. But if you look in the search bar at the top of the page, you'll see a little barcode icon. I'm going to go ahead and tap that icon, and you see that it gets my camera going. So I have the book right here, The People We Meet on Vacation. I'm going to turn it over. And let's say I'm in a bookstore and I see a book I really like, and I just want to see if the library has it. I scan that barcode using that search, and it instantly brings me to this title, which is wonderful. So easy from here. I can add it to lists. I can place a hold. I can do all of those great things. The next thing that I want to show you with a camera for is the scan and go. It is the icon in the bottom of that toolbar. So I'm going to go ahead and tap that. Now you can select, this is what you're actually doing here, is you are checking out a title to someone on that you have a linked account with. So just like everywhere else, I can choose the account. I'm going to leave it at Jordan F because I know that she's not shut down by fines. And I'm going to go ahead and click start a session. So now it says at the top, you are checking out as Jordan F. I'm going to click that barcode symbol again, add a new item, and then I created this barcode here. And it checks it out immediately. You can check multiples out. When you're done, you tap finish. I just tapped finished. It says session finished. I can either start a new session. So again, if I'm in the library of a stack of books for like 3 different people, I can check it out to each one in turn, or I can cancel. All right, I think those are probably the most important things on here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing on my iPad. All right, we are going to go back to that slide deck and show you talk about a few more things. Oop. Okay, there we go. Okay, I mentioned notifications a few times. These are really difficult to demo live, but we do have 3 different ways that you can do push notifications in LiDA. The first one is my favorite. These are custom notifications. You can send them out per library, per branch location, per patron type. I always like to recommend that libraries think about, you can have all of your staff have LiDA and then literally send them a push notification to their phone if you have a staff patron type, for example. I showed you saved searches earlier. This is a great way to get notified, say, for example, when your favorite author, when a new title is added to the catalog, you can get a notification from LiDA. And then I also mentioned earlier with those linked accounts, if someone links to your account within LiDA, you can get a linked account notification. Each of these actually has its own setting within LiDA, so you can decide which of these notifications. So if you don't want anything from the library, but you do want linked accounts, those permissions are granular. And then on the right, you see some examples of what those notifications look like on my iPad. So how do you get LiDA? So for the regular shared Aspen LiDA, you do need to already have Aspen Discovery. Again, this is a huge asset because everything is managed within the Aspen Discovery interface, all of the settings, and it tends to be alongside similar settings. So those links to the web pages, all you have to do is say, yes, also put this in LiDA. If you want to get this set up, put in a ticket with Bywater to turn it on, or use the instructions in the Aspen Help Center, or I have another option for you where you can get some help with one of our Aspen implementation specialists that I'll show you in a minute. For library branded LiDA, let us know you're interested. You will need to set up a Google developer account with the Google Play and the Apple App Stores. Just some pre-work that you'll need to do on your part. We're happy to help you through that. And then we'll also need some additional logos and text. Again, this is all about the branding. All of the features between the two are the same. The difference is really just the branding and how libraries search for it. Okay, I promised I showed you everything on the patron side. So maybe you're thinking, how does this all work in the back end? We have a solution for you. So Aspen Academy next Tuesday will be on administering Aspen LiDA. So it'll talk about the logo, setting up LiDA, system messages, which we didn't even talk about today that also can go into LiDA, notifications and user navigation. You do need to register for this. So we do have a Learn More link down there. That is where you can register if you're interested in learning more about the back end of LiDA and how to administer it with Aspen Discovery. We do have another Community Connections webinar on Aspen next month, Tuesday, June 11th at the same time, using Aspen Discovery Web Builder features. So just wanted to put a little plug in for that. And then I will turn it over to see if anyone has questions. We just have a few minutes.